And somebody put a comment in about what radiator do I have on this truck, saying they're going to put a CUCV engine in their Wagoneer. That's a whole other audience I ain't even thought about. I've been thinking Chevy truck and 715 people and the diesel people. I forgot about the Wagoneer Jeep people. Whole other audience. I'll have to start looking for that stuff. I don't have any Wagoneers left. My last Wagoneer was a 63 I bought because they had the 230 Tornado in it. I bought it for the engine. Actually, I pulled out someone's field for nothing. But thank you, Jenny, for the old truck. Anyway, that's been gone a few years now. Radiators. 715 with the 6-cylinder engine. I think the radiator is 26 inches wide. I do not know where my stock radiator is for this truck. I looked for it. I couldn't find it. I'm pretty sure I gave it to somebody who needed one when I put the big block in. I put the big block 396 in here, tried the stock radiator, and the hot setup back in the early aughts was a Taurus double fan. It works great until the fuse blows and you overheat really quick. So I went with I got the part number here, Summit Universal Fit 380328. Supposed to be 27 inches wide, which brings up a problem. Let's see what this thing really is. Let's just go there. There. Yeah, it's 27 and a quarter. So it's supposed to be 2706, 27 and 16th. All right. It won't fit. Stock Wagoneer or 715 radiator opening. I'm going to try to let you see, but I'm going to talk about it before I start doing that. Pretty much, you can look in this. You can't really see it that way either. Right here is an upright that is welded to the valence. There's one on both sides. But if you look at it just a little bit back here, the radiator is not centered. This one is top of it to the inside of the fender or outside of the fender is 20 and a quarter. This one over here now it's 19 and 3/4. But I moved this back several inches. To make a 27-inch radiator fit in here, you have to take this J-shaped, I'm going to try to show it here. I got so the sun is behind the truck so we're not getting glare on things. But I'm going to put the light down there too. You can see that there is at the frame, there's the J shape to the bracket and a ragged cut at the bottom of the screen and a bolt in the middle with springs on it. If you look at your stock 715 or J truck or Wagoneer, you'll have the same bracket and there'll be two holes. The front mount with the springs in it will actually be in the hole that is no longer on my bracket. I cut it off. What you have to do is undo that bolt and then undo the spot welds that hold the thing. I'm not sure we can see that at all. You can see my welds kind of. You got to cut that out, move the whole bracket over, then re-weld it. You do that, weld it back on again. Then you have room to put in a 27. Actually, you can probably go 29 inches. I got a good bit of space. What I got over here? Almost a half inch over there. I got an inch over here. So, yeah, you could go 29 inches wide if you want to. But this Summit radiator aluminum 2-core with a 396 in here. Edelbrock cam, Edelbrock intake, Holley double pumper, 750 carb. With no fan shroud and just a locked on fan, no fan clutch. Make sure I'm even in the picture. I am, kind of. With all those things on it, pulling a trailer with another 715 on it, I would run in the 190, 195 degree range. But when I went to actually I took the truck out to Colorado and climbing the mountains, I was hitting 205, 210 on my autometer gauge. And I didn't like that. At low speed, and at parades too. In parade, I learned to run parades in this thing in low range on the transfer case and keep it around 3,000 RPM. That kept the water pump working right. I brought aluminum water pump on it too. That kept the water pump flowing good enough that I didn't get more than 200 degrees with the gas big block in here. But out in Colorado, it didn't help. At altitude above 10,000 feet, trying to climb passes and dirt roads on trails and doing 4-wheel drive stuff, I was over 200 degrees a lot. So when that engine ended up breaking, I put the 6.2 in here. I took a fan shroud from a, it's a nice, beautiful fan shroud. Yeah, don't laugh. It's got a few cuts in it. This part here, somehow or another, I forget why I had it there, but we had a 62 or 63 Impala with a 283 in it in my classroom and had a metal fan shroud. So when we put the 6.2 in with the same motor mounts as the big block, I had a student make a plate and we just welded the circular part of the fan shroud onto this and made brackets to bolt it to the uprights. It spun just fine, no hitting, no clearance troubles, no issues at all. Until the day we finished the engine swap, I was going to tow Red 1009 to the Steel Soldiers rally over in Bryan, College Station then. I got the truck on like the day before. And it drove fine coming home from school 5 miles away. I said, oh yeah, we're ready to go. Hooked the trailer up, put Red on there. My son Colton had a track meet that night. He was, I think, 6th or 7th grade. This is back in 13. Got home from the track meet around 11:30. We jump in the truck, threw all our gear in, threw the coolers in, fire this thing up, and I go, and we're hitting like crazy. The fan is hitting. So we made about a mile. I didn't make it off my bumpy road. You know, we're 20 miles an hour. Man, so we turned around, came home. I just got a cutting wheel out, started cutting and bending this thing back. Bend it back, don't hear more noise. I'll just try it again. Took 2 attempts, but we finally got to where I could go. And I haven't messed with it since. I should have just removed it, but I haven't messed with it since. It hits every now and then. Ting, 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 ting. But that's another story. Now with the 6.2 in here, with the CUCV fan clutch and CUCV fan, with this radiator, I have never been over 205. Trailering a 1009, trailering a flat tone a 1009. In fact, this truck brought home the parts gasser over there. It brought that truck home, flat towed it 40 some odd miles from the big town of Muldoon. Anyway, yes, these radiators, back up. The radiator good. I've never had this thing come close to overheating. I think the fan shroud does help some. So Jeep people, Wagoneer people, FSJ people, the Summit universal fit radiator. Now the trouble is there's no brackets. You can see the holes I drilled here. When I first put it in, I had zip ties going from here to here, holding the top of the radiator in. Then took it into school one day, and the welding teacher was like, why don't we make something? Okay, let's make something. So we made these little caps to hold it that bolt into the uprights. And I got the U-shaped Chevrolet radiator lower rubbers in there. And that's it. And the hoses match up to Chevrolet because it's a universal fit for Chevrolet. All right, if you're doing a 6.2 into something else, you have to have the oil cooler. This is back before I got on my braided stainless steel AN fitting kick, and I bought a oil cooler that I just put hose on. It had hose barbs on it. I put hoses on it, and it's just sitting right there in the middle of the way, not close to the radiator. It's not getting much. It's not getting much airflow sitting still, but it doesn't get hot. I don't have an oil temperature gauge either. I just ran the neoprene lines back to the engine. You can kind of see in the, oh, you can see them above the frame here. Yeah, here's the lines right here. I just ran them on through there, back to the engine ports, and that works very well. Now, stock 6.2 and a CUCV. This is the crumple truck. I got all three hoods open because you can see the lines. They go to just pipe fittings. That's where they come from the engine. Now, you can see how they're secured to the fender right here. That's a stock 6.2 setup. Aluminum lines off the block to a rubber hose up to the crossover pipes of the radiator. I'm going to show that in the next truck. But some people don't know this. These rubber hoses were recalled by Chevrolet back in the 80s. Some of the military trucks got the recall, some didn't. So if you have one of these CUCV with a 6.2, get you right down your VIN, call Chevrolet. You might get a brand new set of hoses from Chevrolet. It's an active recall. All right, this is Rusty. Rusty is got a broken crankshaft, but same hoses coming across, secure to the fender, tying into the aluminum piping, which goes in front of the fan. You can kind of see it in the between the fan and the radiator to get extra cooling as it goes into the radiator over here. And here they are entering the radiator, this one and down there. That's the stock oil cooler for a CUCV. I really think the aluminum lines going across in front of the fan are a big help. And here is the whole lines without the radiator in the way on Whitey. Whitey, I don't know why the front end of Whitey's rusty, but Whitey's rusty in the front, but everything else in the truck is solid. Anyway, here's the stock O-ring fittings for the radiator. And I think this part here does almost as much cooling as anything else. I'm glad Chevrolet designed it that way. But I went with the new body style, the GMT 400, starting with the 88s and the Blazer Suburbans and crew cabs got it in 92. They went to an external non-radiator cooler the whole time. So whichever it is. Anyway, I am now able, I did this, I put that cooler on back in 2013. Haven't messed with it since. It works. I put the stone guard with mosquito screen mesh in there just to keep butterflies and rocks off my radiator. It works pretty good. It looks kind of stupid, but it works. Because the 715 never had the Wagoneer J-Truck grill. So it's not a cheese grill. You know, all those different cheese graters and whatnots the different years had. 715 had none of that. I just wanted to stop a lot of stuff from getting out of ruining my fancy. Now 200. What does that cost now? $222.99, and it's not in stock. They expect it'll ship in April. Yeah, okay. So, external cooler, Summit radiator, Works good for me. I have the external cooler on the cow dog, and well, I got an old temperature gauge on it too. It is always, it's never been higher than the coolant temperature, put it that way. And running synthetic oil, oil's not even working hard. So hope this helps somebody with the radiator. If not, write some comments. I'll do some more videos. Oil cooler, you gotta have something there. And I probably could have gotten a bigger cooler. Leroy's Diesel in Houston area, he has oil cooler kits, whatnot for the standalones. I like that better than the oil, the radiator cooled. Radiator water to water. Yes, liquid to liquid is more efficient than air to liquid, but if you get coolant heat, especially with a turbo, that's also heating your oil up. Both things get hot at the same time. If you have a separate air to liquid oil cooler, then maybe the oil will stay a little bit cooler. Anyway, hopefully that helps somebody. Another teachable moment.